Hey guys! Yesterday we learned about something called acid precipitation. Can you imagine if the rain that was falling to the ground every day or seasonally, instead of it being just pure water, if it was acid or contained components of acid? That would be so dangerous, right? You could not be able to walk outside. You could not be able to play in the rain anymore. And that's what we're talking about. Acid precipitation is when rain, hail, sleet, or snow, the four types of precipitation, contains a very high level of concentration of acids. Now, precipitation is normally acidic to some extent, right? It's naturally acidic, but it's not so acidic that it can cause any problems or damage to us or our health. But when you add components of sulfur or nitrogen, it can be so acidic that it can actually negatively affect our environment. In most areas of the world, pollutants or pollution controls have actually helped to reduce cases of acid precipitation. Even when we talk about plants, the plant communities actually have adapted, they have evolved over a long period of time to the natural acidity in the soil. I mean, everything normally is either acidic or basic, right? But the soil is naturally a little bit acidic, and plants have actually adapted to that. But acid precipitation can actually cause the acidity of the soil to increase and can cause a lot of problem, a lot of damage, even for forests. Forest has a very complex ecology, a very complex system, and when acid precipitation happens, it can actually damage it for a very long period of time. It can not only damage plants, but also the animals. So their own habitat, their whole habitat actually kind of can get destroyed. About aquatic animals or fishes or sea creatures. They have adapted to a certain amount of acidity in water, but if it increases because of sulfur concentration or some sort of, acidic components from precipitation, a lot of aquatic organisms or sea creatures can actually end up dying. Fishes actually end up dying and they get pulled away to our banks. And a lot of people obviously know you should not eat a dead fish, but what if someone actually did eat a dead fish that died due to acidic precipitation? That again can cause a lot of problems that we don't even want to consider what happened. The effects of acidic precipitation is actually the worst in the spring, because acidic snow actually melts and the water gets flown into the lakes and evaporation takes place, and there's a huge rapid change in the body of waters. And it happens almost suddenly, so it can actually be known as an acidic shock. Even humans are extensively affected by acid precipitation. If there is an increase in soil acidity, it can cause or lead to toxic metals, such as aluminum or mercury, to be released from the soil. And when they are released from the soil, they can get drawn into crops or animals who naturally eat plants like cows or pigs or and chickens, for example. And when it gets concentrated in their body, and this is what we are eating, so ultimately it's also what's going into our body. And a way to control this was very important in not just America, but all over the world. And that's why there are a lot of international cooperations actually that help control acid precipitation. Pollutants, when they're released in one area, may actually end up being evaporated because of the water and fall back as acid precipitation, right? even pollution in one country can lead to pollution in another. Because just because evaporation took place in America doesn't mean that precipitation is also going to take place in America. It may happen in Europe. There are winds that carry clouds all over the world. So it's important that everyone come together worldwide and have a global campaign to make sure air quality is increased and pollution is decreased. So there was actually an agreement that took place in 1991 to make sure between Canada and United States to make sure they would control acid precipitation in any way they can and curb it when they seem fit. And most of the international actually agree that this is necessary and is very much useful when it comes to survival or even just of us and of those species that we might not think matters to us, but it does. Because let's imagine if a fox ate, if a sheep ate some soil that had plants that took up soil that had acidic precipitation, water from the soil that had acidic precipitation, that's going to be eaten by fox, and fox is going to be eaten by vulture. And this cycle just goes on and on and on. And even if it doesn't affect us directly, it's going to affect our ecosystem. So we need to make sure we can curb it when we can. I hope this helps. I hope you guys have a great day.